Have you ever gone outside on a nice spring day, tried to stick a shovel in the ground, only it barely goes in? Ohio is made up of a range of soil types, depending on region, and not all of them are ideal for planting.
Some areas don't drain well, some areas are very compacted and heavy clay, others are extremely organic.
Which means that where we plant and what we plant in has a big impact on what grows. And even if you purchase soil from a local supplier, Jim from the Governor's Heritage Garden says,
the net bottom line is your soil is only going to be as good as the product they start with when they start shredding it up. And shredded clay is a whole lot worse than clay that's left in chunks at times. It just turns into a brick when it gets wet. But we don't want to tear everything down and try to redo it. We want to enhance it or improve it in the state that it's in.
And improving soil, whether the ground beneath your feet or new soil that's been brought in, involves a process called amending.
When you're tilling these, is the intention to work nutrients in or break it up, or?
Break up the soil, amend the soil to a uniform structure and texture, and then basically just improve the drainage of the soil, the amount of organic matter that's in the soil. We're adding compost, we're adding organic matter. This particular bed was put in a few years back. Our problem was that it was so compacted and locked up last year that we were planting a lot of things and they were kind of lunging out of the ground because they weren't growing down at all. So we wanted to loosen this soil up, amend it, get it to where we can grow fibrous rooted crops into this.
And amending also serves to improve the nutrients in the soil. All plants have 3 primary nutrient needs for growth: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, also known as NPK. Nitrogen grows the leafy greens, phosphorus, the roots, flowers, and fruits, and potassium is for overall health, water intake, and pest resistance.
The reason we're adding nutrient to the soil is because it helps us break down organic matter and for growth and plant health management.
So bed preparation, whether in ground, raised, or in pots, is an important step towards the overall success of a garden. And equally important, according to the gardeners at the Governor's Heritage Garden, is coming up with some sort of plan for your garden.
Planning is a big part of it.
Don't go willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I think if you go to the store, it's overwhelming. You come home with way too much, you plant way too close.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that come into that, how much space you have. Some plants, like tomatoes, that's a plant that you rotate. You want to pay attention to how your garden's oriented as far as sunlight, the amount of sunlight it receives. If you were to plant like a really tall plant in front of some smaller plants, that can be to your benefit too, to keep plants cooler, or it can be if you plant a plant like that where it gets shaded out, that's also something to consider.
Part of planning your garden is also considering companion planting, the practice of pairing beneficial plants together.
I was just looking this up actually. There's certain things that are bad and there's certain plants that are good.
And there's a list on the internet that says this goes with this. Chamomile, basil, nasturtiums,
Marigolds, they
Marigolds.
say, repel the pests.
They become like a magnet for some bugs, so it doesn't, the
Bother
bugs
the
don't
other.
go on the tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like the marigolds will get aphids on them and let them have the aphids, and then the tomatoes
The tomatoes are
less.
fine, yeah.
Yeah, repelling pests and pulling in the pollinators.
Yeah.
So yeah, planning is very important. The more you put into it and the more you research and pay attention to what you've done, you're just going to become a better gardener, But don't let it scare you away either, You don't have to go crazy. And the more and more you do it too, the easier it gets.
Now that the planning is done and the beds are prepared, it's finally time for planting.